Welcome to Food Shrinks.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to our food shrink shorts. And
That's
today
not
we're
what they're here
talking-
for. They're here for your
oh,
outfit.
Let's
And
see it.
yeah. Look at how pointy this. Okay, and here we go, Santa Claus.
So you're like a straight pug girl, huh?
I really like pugs.
A pug.
Yes, I do. I like the wrinkly face and the snorting, and like they're
Like
just
the breathing.
they're little clowns. And I think I'm a little clown sometimes.
You're a delightful clown, and we love you. Everything.
I heard it's like we kind of like have a breed and like we kind of match our dog breed in some ways. Do you think that's true or no?
I have a Labrador who is like so excited and then passes out and only likes food and would eat himself to death. So yes, I would agree.
And I have two Res Dog Rescues. They're literally from an organization called Res Dog Rescue, and they are from the reservation that I grew up on for a portion of my life. And they were picked for their adorableness, not for anything else. So they've got their quirks, but they are bomb-proof with the kids. They are my protectors when I am hiking. So yeah, I would say they probably fit my personality. Like they've got a big bark. So when somebody knocks on the door, like they let them know we're here. But they really would just like lick you to death if you let them. So probably.
That
All
is
right.
like you, Molly. It is. Like if you want a heavy, Molly's the heavy.
That's it. I'll be
And
the
I
then
heavy.
I would not mess with Molly.
no, not Montana Molly. That's like, no, we don't
Yeah.
do that.
You just don't want to meet mean Molly. Montana Molly is there, but mean Molly, you don't want to meet her. You don't.
Oh,
I don't even like when she comes out to play.
No,
So
not the dark alley.
All right. So today we're talking about kids and family. So probably, Molly P, you're going to need to be a lot more featured
You're
in
going
this
to be
than
the specialist today.
ooh,
yeah.
Aunt Clarissa and Aunt Molly C.
Yeah. So
Oh, I pretend to know a lot about kids, so I may
do.
just,
You know,
like
yeah,
pretend.
you're
You don't have to pretend.
obviously in love with that child psychologist that you're telling us that Becky,
Dr.
we need.
Becky, you know what? Wait till next week after these girls have. Dr. Becky is a national phenomenon. Where you guys been? Even in Canada. Me and all my friends are. It's not just me. All of my friends and I are obsessed with her.
Okay, well, we are your friends, so now we will
That's
become
true.
obsessed. We'll become
No, we'll be
obsessed.
obsessed too.
Just
Can I
for
tell
you,
you one
just
thing
for-
Dr. Becky says when a kid
Yes.
tells you something like really like important? You say, "Thank you for telling me. I believe you. Thank you for telling me. And I'm so glad you told me."
That's right.
Now, I've used that with adults.
Yeah.
And you just get the room.
Okay.
What you're telling me. I believe you.
Yeah.
You guys will go out on the inner child. That's all. Okay. Now to holidays.
Okay, holidays. Okay. I want to set a good example for my kids while avoiding sugar-filled holiday traditions. Any suggestions for fun, healthier alternatives?
All.
So I'm a big fan of not restricting what my children eat, right? I'm not trying to cause any problems that don't already exist. I'm not trying to make any problems that already exist any worse. So they know that like I'm not going to be eating those things, and they'll even make comments like, "Oh, mom doesn't eat that," whatever. Like at this point they know. But I think that there are lots of fun alternatives. My kids really enjoy fruit. I mean, Christmas trees can be made out of strawberry. You can like cut strawberries and they can look like Christmas trees or like little Santa hats with a little like dollop of like whipped cream on them or something, right? Like it does not have to be exaggerated. It does not have to be over the top. Like kids aren't going to eat it anyway. Like, let's be honest, I was just watching a video the other day from a gal who said, this is just your reminder, parents, to feed your children before you go to the Thanksgiving dinner, because let's be honest, it's a tasting menu for them anyway. So feed them before you go. So kids they're just not. In my daughter, like you give her, she asks for ice cream, you literally give her a scoop of ice cream, she takes 2 bites and puts the rest of it in the freezer, right? So I don't police what they're eating. I also don't make it like 100% available to them all the time. Like that kind of stuff is out of sight, out of mind. They have to ask for those things, and I'm not going to say no, but they also just don't have free reign. So again, I think it's like the role modeling happens in all the days other than the holiday too. Right.
Right.
So it's just like setting that example, having those different kind of like boundaries in the house to begin with is going to really help with this. That's where I'd be at for some of that, you know, and just like the fruits can be cut fun ways. You can use cookie cutters to cut like pineapple in fun ways or whatever. So those are some things that we've done in the past. Yeah.
Does it answer the question to say that maybe we don't make it about the food? Like that maybe we try to integrate some new rituals and new holidays that
Totally.
just don't have to do with food, since like
Agreed.
we're trying to find some neutrality with food. We're trying to make life not so much about food, that we do get into like turkey trots and like going to pick the best Christmas tree. I just started this tradition with like my god kids. I have 5 god kids, and we're like really in our like Uno Blast era. And like it's
Mhm.
because I find with them that they're always like want to do their screens, not like it's kind of like they always want to do something that's really unhealthy. So I'm like, we got to do things that are healthy and fun that don't have to do with like you showing me things on Snapchat, you know? And so it's sort of the same with the holidays, right? Like maybe we all have a family have to find something that isn't like us decorating gingerbread castles, because it makes it weird because I don't eat sugar. Like, because I think we're saying about like also like sometimes for the parents, it's hard that like they don't want to show their kids that they don't eat sugar. I think there's lots and lots of wholesome things to do that have literally nothing to do with food. And like kids love it.
They do. We
Mhm.
go for sleigh rides, we go sledding,
Yeah.
build snowmen, my family skis. You know, there's all kinds of things that have nothing to do with the food, which I think is like why I struggle when the question is like, what are these fun, healthier alternatives? I'm like, I struggle with that because I try not to get into the food. Like
But
when
I
they were
think that's
littler,
what
we
we're saying
tried
about
harder.
dessert, right? We're like,
Yeah.
how come, like we don't even do, how about we just don't do dessert? Like maybe we
Mm.
don't find healthier alternatives. Let them eat their like Christmas candy, and then you're the one that like does. I am so fun with these kids
Yes.
because I'm willing to put in the. It takes more energy to play, you know, Uno than it does
Yep.
to like look on Snapchat or like give them Kit Kats. But like it's kind of worth it, right?
Totally.
Yeah, and I think that's like also when you're an aunt, I feel like because we don't have to parent all the time, we have sometimes that I have that a little extra energy and I'm like, I want to play the Pictionary or I want to, you know, sometimes they just want to come downstairs and play with my weights. I
Yeah,
don't get it.
like a dance party. Yeah.
Yeah, just like have fun and keep it light. Exactly. That, you know, if you're making like spending time with, I think is what the holidays is supposed to be about.
And it's what they care about them. Like full presence is
It's
its
what
own.
they remember.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So the next one is again, how do I teach kids to enjoy the holidays without making it all about the sugary treats and desserts? So we kind of already answered that.
The
I
answer
think
one more time.
something, oh, go ahead,
Maybe
Molly.
don't make it about the sugary desserts. Like
I
I
was
think
just
this
going to
idea of
say,
like replacing it makes it, it's like doth protesting too much. Like it would be amazing. Like, and I think the other thing I would say, and again, I'm like, I have a timeshare of children. Like I don't actually have children. I have children as timeshares.
Yes.
But like, remember this about all sales. Like the first appearance of you not giving them candy, they're not gonna be like, Mom, that's so great. I'm so glad that we're not doing like, you're gonna have to sell it a few times. So hold yourself solid and sell it beautifully, and eventually they'll come around.
yeah, I also, I mean, I do have kids full time. I wish I could rent them
Yes.
out or however
Yeah.
you guys do
I'm
it as
sure.
aunts.
Okay.
Um, is, you know, remember that you're the adult, you are the parent, like you're the one setting the tone. And this is what I'm saying about like the role modeling comes all the other days before this holiday. So a long time ago, we started Switch Witch at Halloween. So my kids keep
What's
a
Switch for
tiny,
those of us who
oh,
only
so
have here?
Switch Witch is so they keep a tiny amount of candy. And I'm talking a tiny amount of candy. My kids aren't even into candy all that much anyway, but they keep maybe a handful of candy. And we're talking they get gobs, right? And the Switch Witch comes in the night and takes the candy that they're giving up and leaves my kids in particular enjoy art supplies. So the Switch Witch leaves art supplies and takes the candy away. So at Christmas time, when Christmas candy is around, it's only in their stockings and it's not a lot of candy. So it's, and that candy will be in my house until Valentine's Day comes. And then we're throwing away Christmas candy because here comes Valentine's Day candy that they're getting at the school, right? So it's like again, we're setting up we're setting ourselves up for like either there's going to be this like tears and explosion and whatever it's going to be, or it's going to be like, oh, yep, it's just another day. It's just how it goes, long before we get to that point. So keep that in mind, and that you're the adult. You get to have boundaries and you get to say, like, yeah, I understand this is really hard. And it's my job as your parent to make decisions about your health. And it's my job as a parent to help advocate for you and your needs, because you can't advocate for yourself. You know what I mean? So I think it's just like remembering who's actually in charge, but not doing it in a way that, I don't know, like, you don't have to be mean and
Selling
cruel
it
about it.
well. You have
Yeah.
to sell it well. Like,
You have to
you
sell
have
it
to be
well.
cool with the idea that you're not doing food-related holidays,
That's
and
it.
then you gotta sell that like your life depends upon it, because it's actually better for them.
It's so much better for them. So my kids have art supplies coming out of their ears, and you know what? I am so okay with that. I'm so okay with having to pick up markers and pens and crayons and colored pencils and paper all day long, instead of like, you hear about the parents who are like, I'm constantly finding candy wrappers in the bedroom and this, that. I'm like, I don't have that problem. Art supplies.
Damn, girl. Right, you should go be with Dr. Becky. You're really
I,
winning.
I think I need to get a hold of Dr. Becky.
You don't need to actually. You're
Oh, I
doing
don't
great.
need to. Got
You
it.
are Dr.
Are
Becky.
Dr.
You are Dr. Becky.
Got it.
Yeah, she's the food drinks Dr. Becky.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, so the next question is, my extended family doesn't understand my food plan and keeps giving my kids sugary snacks during gatherings. How can I set boundaries with them without creating tension?
I'm
That's a tricky
confused as to
question.
what my food
Yeah.
plan would have anything to do with my kids. But if I have boundaries around people giving my kids things, so for example, when they were little, and this happened to my sister. This did not happen to me directly that I can remember, but my nephew was 6, 7, 8 months old. He was little. He was little, and I remember her telling her in-laws not to give him ice cream or dairy in general, right? Because babies are not supposed to have that until they're a year old or more, just because their organs are not developed for any of that yet. And her father-in-law did it anyway, and it was like this whole thing. Yep, it was a whole thing. So
As it
here's the thing.
should be.
Yeah, well, absolutely it should be. Because here's the thing. People, you can give your boundaries. Listen, I don't want my children to have this, that, or the other thing, or you know what, we're really trying to limit that this time of year. If you're going to offer them something, I would prefer it be this. You can give the thing to them to say, like, if you feel like you need to give them a treat, here's the thing that you can give them. At the end of the day, you cannot police their behaviors, but you can have the boundaries. And if they break those boundaries, then there are outcomes of that breaking of the boundaries. And so there are consequences. And so, like, for example, with my in-laws, I'm pretty sure my sister she didn't come around them for a while after that, because it was a big deal. She was like, this is about safety and health of my child. And if you can't follow that rule, then you won't have access to them. And I've had to do the same thing with other family members that I have, that if you can't mind my boundaries, you won't have access to them. So I know it sounds harsh.
No, it sounds awesome.
But again, your kids can't advocate for themselves. You have to be their advocate.
Can I just say the dopest modeling to your children too? Like, talk about being a solid protector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about saying, no, we don't just placate granny.
No.
Like, that's so good. God.
No, not at all. Yeah. What would
There's
you
a lot of
do?
things wrong
Yeah,
with the
how would you
world.
do?
Some of the boundary and parenting stuff we got going is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
hard to do. I think it's really important for like parents to remember though, like, you shape shifting for other people, you sacrificing your needs for other people showed your kids nothing positive. It shows them to shape shift and to sacrifice their needs for other people, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I also feel like sometimes it is helpful to explain why you're doing the thing you do. I know with boundaries, we don't always have to do that, but we also have to understand that sometimes people won't understand and they don't like see the value. And so when we just have that kind of clear communication, and then we may come to like a better place of understanding.
Doing it validatingly, and like we said in the other video, doing it with a gentle manner and a light manner. Like, I know this might not make sense to you. I totally get that you think that kids should eat as much candy, and that makes sense for your kids. Like, that's amazing. It just
Right.
doesn't for my kids, and I really need you to honor this with me. That's exactly what we're saying. This
Yeah.
gentleness and this keeping it on yourself and identify, this is what good communication is about. It's good negotiation is
And you
about.
can start it long
Yeah.
before the day. I mean, if you're doing it in front of the kids as like granny or somebody's like handing, like that is going to cause all kind. Now the kids are witnessing that, whatever it might be. It could just be a phone call, a text message,
Yep.
or whatever, weeks in advance. Christmas is a month from now. Start that process now. I also think that, when it comes to this, at the end of the day, again, you are the parent, period. You're the
And it's
parent.
not a likability contest.
It is not a likability contest. It has everything to do with you are their advocate. So start those conversations long in advance. It doesn't have to be tense. If somebody's offended, it doesn't mean you've done something wrong. And stand your ground, because if you waver, you are again teaching people how to treat you. If you waver, they will come in and they will go behind your back and they will do the thing anyway. And don't put your kids in the middle of it. Don't say, if grandma offers you this, that, and the other thing, you have to say no, because now you've put the kids in the middle and it is not their job. It is between you and that other adult, period. Plain and simple.
Yep. Perfect.
That's it. All right. If you have
Not
more
as
questions.
easy as we're making it seem.
No, gosh, no. Please know that when I have to be in these situations, the inside of me is on fire. It is on fire and I want to run away. Like Clarissa was saying, earlier, I want to run away. Everything in me wants to run because nobody protected me as a kid. And I had to be that chameleon. I had to ride the fence. I had to, for survival.
Look at Molly P breaking all the generational trauma.
Oh yeah. Nobody protected me.
You're
So
a
I am
generational
100% my kids.
And I say this to anybody
Yeah.
who's relating to what Molly P is saying, you are a generational trailblazer, Molly.
Thank
You are
you.
blazing the trail for generations behind you and ahead of you.
Yeah,
And that everybody has that opportunity.
Yeah. And it can be as simple as just having that conversation.
It's so powerful. And by the way, much less hungry.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so true. And
When you're
less
letting
cranky
people
and less.
steamroll you, the only thing you can do is fucking binge, excuse my language, is binge over that. Pardon me if anybody's offended by language.
Not at all. But also keep in mind, your kids are going to be less little turds too, because they're not having
They're
the
gonna
sugar
be
high,
less
sugar
blood
crashes, all
sugar
the things. Like,
volatile. Yes,
let's just,
exactly.
let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. Oh, totally. All right. Keep the questions coming. Ask the shrinks at foodshrinks.com.
Thanks for listening to Food Shrinks. Quick reminder, this podcast isn't a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider for guidance suited to your needs. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach others on the recovery journey. Take care and remember, freedom with food is possible. See you next time.